a lot of people get so caught up in the what, they forget the why. There's this fixation of this is what I'm going to do, and they forget why you pursue that in the first place.
Good afternoon to you beautiful ladies and gents out there in the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago, by extension the Caribbean and the wider world. My name is Jermaine, some people know me as J-Dot, but today I am your host and anchor on Plus Sunset, the most beautiful show, the rising show like a phoenix. It's going to take over like wow. Now, to the left and right of me are two beautiful human beings that I adore very much. To the left of me is the sensational Jevon. And I would like to introduce you today to our beautiful co-host, Ruby.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Nice. So today, guys, I am filling in for your boy, Randolph. And yesterday, we had an interesting topic on networking. Today, the reason why I actually bring back networking, guys, is because it kind of ties into what we're going to speak about today, right? And I want to tell you a personal taste on what we're going to talk about today. I want to to bring that gritty honesty and let me tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean with true opinion. Because, I mean, when you speak about networking, we're talking about the values of meeting people, the opportunities that you could gain from it, and the explosive, the expansions, and all the added pluses to it. So, Ruby, we're going to start with you.
Sure.
So, tell me, talk to the audience.
All right, no problem. On the matter of networking, I think it depends on the forum that you're in, right? Whether it's a social event, a corporate event, each situation or circumstance has its purpose. In my experience, I've been in various types of networking events on a social side, a corporate side, and I've always had positive benefits from networking. As in making proper connections, whether it be for business, whether it be for socializing purposes, or just making new friends, getting new experiences, getting new perspectives, and learning about different cultures and backgrounds. So it is an eye-opening type of activity for me.
Jevon?
Well, for me, as I mentioned yesterday, networking has basically put me in the position I am today. I had the ability of working in different environments, meeting different people, learning different skills, and developing certain skills within my personal self. Yep. So I see good networking as a good thing. Yep.
Well, guys, the reason why I really piggyback there is because that going on bring me into today's discussion, social media. Firstly, I want to thank the president of the Arthur Lockjack Alumni, President Jevon Joseph, for being here yesterday as our guest. Thank you very much, and we appreciate you. Today, guys, Jevon, social media, it is like the biggest, hottest thing right now. A lot of negative influences are being produced and put out there, and our young children are somehow captivating these things and practicing it. And therefore, we are embracing a world that is not too nice. And we complaining, mothers crying, fathers bawling, it's funerals, and actually people who own the funeral smiling. So, guys, tell me, what are your true and really honest opinion on social media? How do you think we could curb it? How do you think we could present better content to our nation, children, to the wider world? Why do we actually feel that putting something negative out there would bring 1 million views?
I don't think the intention might be negative. I mean, when we look at the stakeholders, right? Let's look at the stakeholders when it comes to social media. You have the companies who make the apps. You have the parents and guardians, persons who are supposed to be monitoring children's activities when it comes to their online presence, right? And then you have the persons who are called the influencers, right? Because these are the persons that these young people will aspire to be. So everybody has their own responsibility when it comes to social media content creation and management, you know, and I think it's just a matter of everybody accepting that accountability and putting out information or content that is responsible as well, you know.
All right, so in the context of influence, right, you spoke briefly about the type of content that we need to put out there to get people attention.
Correct.
And today, these days, actually, what's happening is people, I mean, a gun is actually okay to put up on social media now.
True.
We're talking about pornography. We're talking about young females under the age, from actually 12 to 21. Bikinis almost next to nothing. Those are mothers' daughters, fathers' daughters. And actually, on the twist of that, these same fathers watching other daughters of other fathers, the same age, and bowling, wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a kind of psychological imbalance, but how do we deal with things like that?
I mean, I think it also goes back to home. Jevon, do you have any?
Well, first thing I would like to say that I believe social media is a tool.
Absolutely.
Right, like anything else, right? And as any other tool, there are the positive and the negative part of it. Social media have skyrocketed due to COVID, right? Before COVID, yes, it was a part of society, but I think that because nothing was left for people to do, they resorted to go to social media for some form of entertainment, some form of freedom, right? Now, the thing is with social media, like the apps you're talking about, there's something called algorithms, right? So that these algorithms work in a way, they show you what it is you want to see. For example, if it is you are custom looking up bikini, women in bikini, or not even if you look it up, if it is they show you a video and you realize you like it, right? Or you're looking at it extensively, right? That is what the algorithm does. So it will continue to show you that, right? So basically, it's like a drug, right?
I agree.
It's like a drug, and that is why young people are more going on it, right? Because if you look at the science behind it, it actually impacts the same type of your brain where alcohol and drugs and sex, right? And that is where people are so, they hooked on it, right? Now the thing is that us as parents, when it comes to our kids, we need to pay more attention to what it is our kids are looking at. We need to pay more attention to what they're exposed to. We may not be able to control it, but we must now educate ourselves so that we will be able to speak about certain things and give them correct information, because not all the information they get there may be the truth.
So you're telling me, Jevon, our children can't go back to pitching marble, throwing a little rubber band. We children can't go back to that?
I don't think that's
I
possible.
don't see it.
No, he made the point about COVID being that period where it's encouraged more online device usage, right? That's correct to a certain extent, because really and truly we have been moving towards a digital age for a long time, right? And as time passes, more and more technology comes out, more and more apps going to come out. It's going to continuously happen, right? We are going to evolve in a digital age. The technology is going to evolve. Now we have AI technology. These are new developments, right? So it's really about, aside from getting children involved in extracurricular activities outside of online, you also have to manage. There's something called parental controls, which you have to make sure that is enforced in the devices, monitor the usage, as well as educate them. Now, aside from that, parents also need to educate themselves about how to use those devices, because if you don't know how to use the device, how are you going to put in parental controls?
I like that point, Ruby.
Right?
And I would actually extend on that by saying, actually, I like to bring in balance. So I want to actually put the right words together so that you can give me the answer I want to hear. How do in an age like this where the economic crisis is becoming very tumultuous, rising food prices, inflation, both parents have to actually go out there and work right now. So how do parents deal with situation like this? How do they get time to monitor their children with these devices? I mean, that's a very important thing to view as well, because I mean, they had to bring in the food, the bills had to get paid. They can't, they don't have a drone over their children with a speaker telling them, hey, switch that. How do we deal with things like that?
Well, one way I could mention is that there are something called parenting apps, right? That you could actually put on your children's phone, where you have
apps.
the master control. You want your phone will be the master control, and you could actually see what they are looking at.
That's right.
Everything you can see, and it goes as far as you can see
but
what they text
are parents equipped with that type of time to deal with situation like this? This is what I'm asking.
No, I think the app notifies you if they are looking at something that is
it is again, like we were speaking about AI and technology the other day. There are technology that helps you, but you have to, as Ruby rightfully said, you need to educate yourself as a parent, because at the end of the day, our children, unfortunately, are way more advanced when it comes to using technology than we are.
That is true.
We can't just sit down and say, well, we don't know and hope. No, we have to educate ourselves.
All right, let me jump into our backyard now. Let me talk about Trinidad and Tobago, our social media content and what we put out there for our children. And I want to remind our viewers and us that culture plays a very huge role in what we put out, what we do as a nation and as a people. And before actually getting to the meat of the conversation today, look at the incident that happened in Tobago in Signal Hill Comprehensive School, the stabbing. I mean, and that type of content was put out on social media. What kind of psychological effect that has on other students looking at it from near? Because they are the ones who are traumatized the most, and the ones who are far, and the ones who are actually thinking about entering the school. What are some of the psychological impressions that will happen to these children actually going back to school the other day? I mean, a knife just pierced another body of a student. How? And then that is shown all over, views. I mean, it's so sad to be honest, but at the same time, it's things that we have to work on assiduously as parents, as leaders, as I think our government needs to play a bigger role in controlling what we put out there as children, as big people, as responsible parents and responsible human beings. So give me a little take on that and we'll stretch into the meat of the conversation.
For me, I would say that it will, of course, well, I would think from a parental perspective that there is the matter of safety of your child, all right? From a child's perspective, I can't say because, I'm not in that mindset of a child. I can only assume that, it could open doors for other students to want to behave that way. Or it could also be a case where a child might be afraid to have any type of close interactions or be afraid to properly integrate into the social circles, So it does have negative effects on both sides. So, unfortunately.
My take on it is that you're going to have content there. You can't control it. You can't stop it. Unfortunately, this is evolution, right? You just need to, as a parent, and I practice this, you need to develop a space where your children are comfortable to come and speak to you about certain things, right? You make a space where your children are comfortable knowing that, here what? I'm not supposed to do this, but you don't want them to fear of doing it because of repercussions. You sit down and you speak to your children and you explain to them. I have a young daughter, she's 16, and pretty soon in a blink of eye she's going to be an adult. And we have the discussions. Listen, from the day you decide you want to try alcohol, come to me first. Try it at home first, right?
Do you think she will?
She will, right? So you will know how it affects you, right? And other things that we speak about, she comes to me and we speak about homosexuality, right? I have developed that space with my child that any issues she come and speaks to me. And I think as parents, if it is we develop that with our children, it will help a lot because we cannot be there 100% of the time. As you say, we cannot see what they do 100% of the time. But we must be the first person they think to run to if they have concerns about anything.
Let me piggyback on an experience I had late last year where there was an accident where a police officer, she just left from a bar. We don't know if she was quote-unquote drunk, so I'm not going to say much. And they said that she got a bad drive from another car going the other direction, and she swung and ended up in a big drain and turnover. When I reached on the scene, I saw everybody was like, I seen lights like as if it's a party. By the side of the drains, I was like, no, that can't be a party. What really going on? When I stopped, I see the car turn over. The police officer was lying down, sort of unconscious, but she was conscious enough to actually ask for her licensed firearm.
Okay.
Because I don't know the repercussions of that being lost. So she was very conscious of that ask for it. So when that was secured, I was like, why everybody taping? Help her. Help her. I mean, I find that to be so absurd. Somebody needs help right in front of you, and you have the audacity to take up your phone and film. I mean, what sort of what sort of humanitarian love is that towards another human being?
I think that has actually become quite normal.
Yeah, it is the
in
culture
situations,
now.
and that is not even just in Trinidad.
not
That
just-
is
yes, it is
actually
around the world.
that's actually global.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the
but she was
behavior.
lying in a car over glass brick, bleeding, and everyone is there taping.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I did some research today about social media and the owners of these social media companies. I want to quote what I have because this is I take it from the sources, right? So we're talking about the owners and CEO of these companies: TikTok, Snapchat, Facebooks, what else? And there are some sort of controversy going on where they're being sued by the Biden administration for being parts and linking to the Chinese Communist Party of China. And the controversy is that TikTok, I want to get it right, so nobody wouldn't misquote me. Snapchat was sued. Mark Zuckerberg was sued. The TikTok CEO Shao Su, I don't know if I get the name right, he was sued. But they did not sue. Let me get it right. I want to get it right. The Biden campaign sued both companies and did not sue TikTok. So that is where the controversy lies. Why they did not sue TikTok and sue the other companies? Why Mark Zuckerberg and those guys got sued for? And I'm going to tell you what they did. And they had to actually apologize to the parents at an online child safety senate hearing. To I'm not
they
sure.
were
When
subjected to congressional questioning, I believe. And they were saying that's how social media is a public hazard. That's what the mayor had deemed, as well as they had persons, their parents, they're holding up placards of their children who committed suicide.
Yes.
And then they asked him, what does he feel or what does he think? And he had to apologize to them, and let them know that, he's really sorry about what had happened and what they went through and stuff like that. So it is a big controversy right now. I'm not sure about the TikTok matter being excluded from being sued, but yeah.
Well, I'm not even sure if it's allegations but I know they appeared before magistrate court hearing, and I know a lot of other companies and different parents would have sued them for that type of misconduct. Jevon, what do you have to say about that?
Here's the thing. Meta evolved from Facebook and all these other sites, right? It was created for a purpose, right? Like anything else, people misuse the platform for whatever personal reasons they have, right? So what my question is, what you want them to do? Remove the platform?
Well, I'm not think they're suggesting that, but I think what they want is for them to pay the families such and such an amount for the heinous act that they, quote unquote, the heinous act that they would have caused by allowing them to keep viewing it. But that is what the argument is about.
Right, but did Mark Zuckerberg put the heinous acts there?
Why Jevon bite him?
No, and that's the thing. You're going to the person who created something how much years
But
ago.
he is the owner of the company.
Yes, but is he responsible for putting the content there?
I would agree that he's responsible, yes, because he is the owner. He have to take responsibility for his company.
Okay, let me ask you a question, right? I rent in a vehicle, right? You rent my vehicle from me, right? You go and put on a robbery with the vehicle that I rent you, right? Police lock you up, right? And in the process, you run over somebody and kill them, right? Are you responsible for what you did with the vehicle I rent you?
No, this is a bit different because he's not responsible for the acts, but he's responsible for the car he used. So the police could use that as some form of investigation to get to whoever rented the car and they catch the person. So I don't think that scenario
I
kind of...
think that social media is a circumstantial thing, right? It's a special case, right? All right. Persons are putting out content, right? Now, these companies really supposed to have profanity filters, right? So that persons, because I think one of the allegations is that the children are looking at other adults or persons and when they have issues such as body dysmorphia and they want to look a particular way, they want to go and do surgeries, they want to look like Kylie Jenner, they want to look like Kim Kardashian. Those are some of the harmful acts that they are referring to, right? And that's why one of the children committed suicide, because she wanted to look like one of these celebrity models, right? And this is the type of mental and psychological effects that was happening to these young people. Now, this is what the parents and them are taking them to court for and want to sue and all of that, right? Now, I don't know if it is fair to say that Mark Zuckerberg is the cause of that, or if it is the persons who are posting the contents, which is why I say there are many stakeholders involved that needs to take some sort of accountability.
I totally agree.
And just
guys, I know we want to bring our opinion. Let me give you the opportunity, go ahead.
Like you said, this young lady committed suicide because she wanted to look like a particular female person. Why not sue the female person too?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I listen, viewers of Sunset, before we get our opinions more deeply connected to the topic today, we are going on a quick break and we will get right back to you.
This is another episode of Life Matters, and I am your host, Latina Mata. Give us some insight into what is Miss Earth and what is so special about this pageant.
Okay, so like many pageants, there are a purpose behind the crown. So Miss Earth in particular, it's all about the awareness of the environment, and I'm basically an ambassador informing everyone to take care of their environment and their surroundings.
Take this moment, guys, to advocate the importance of mental health awareness, ensuring that this is something that is started to be placed in schools, in these school curriculums.
Yes.
Why aren't we having easy therapy access to schools, to parents, to the children? You know, that is something that we need to get some hands written about, right?
My name is Jesse McBarrow, and you are looking at Mending Minds. Tell us your Mending Mind moment.
I will say set goals.
A lot of people get so caught up in the what, they forget the why. There's this fixation of this is what I'm going to do, and they forget why you pursue that in the first place.
Okay, Trinidad and Tobago, we are back with your boy Jermaine. Some people call me J-Dot, but you could call me whatever you want. We are here on the beautiful, rising #1 show in Trinidad and Tobago, Sunset on Plus TV. We are back with Jevon. We are back with our beautiful co-host, Ruby. And guys, we were talking about social media, the negative and positive effects we have on it. Before we go into some of the positive contents we could see on these platforms, we're going to dive back a little bit into our opinions on some of the penalties should be given if you were some of these people in authority for some of these quote-unquote heinous act that these companies are causing to the wider world. Ruby, we're going to start with you.
Okay. In terms of penalties, I don't know if they want to charge them a large sum of money or make somebody do community service or make some changes to their algorithms, change their company policies. I don't know. I am not a Supreme Court judge. I can't say.
But on a
personal level, I would just say it's a matter of taking responsibility and finding ways to properly connect with their community. And, doing, maybe just some form of an outreach program to educate them as a way of letting them know this is how we think this particular platform should be used. When it comes to younger persons, maybe have additional programs that is focused on children, and also find ways to train the parents how to do the whole parental control type of situation, So it's just to help themselves.
I
basically.
agree totally, and I want people to actually listen to Ruby because, life starts here, it goes here, and then it ends up here for you. And we call that a journey. Mm-hmm. And we must encounter bumps and challenges on that said part of your journey. But at the end of the day, folks, we need to be mentally, emotionally, physically prepared for everything that's coming our way. Jevon, I want you to tell me right now, and I'm only asking you this way because of the feel you in. If you were some of the people in authority, and Mark Zuckerberg and some of the Chow Su, no, I want to get his name right, Chow Chu, Chow Chu appear before you, what are some of the penalties you would be administering for these folks, for the responsible?
So you asked me that question because you know what you feel I am in, right?
Listen.
My question is...
Right. You
how
cannot
did
answer
they...
a question with a question.
Okay, this is how I would tell them. I think if there's more work to be done when it comes to certain filters that does not really exist, then my penalty would be to make these filters, right? But as far as I know, Facebook has their filters for children. When you sign up Facebook, I find parents should sign up Facebook for the children if they want their children to be on, and it asks you a question. Are you over the age of 18? Are you a child? Right. And there are filters you could set, right? So like Ruby said, right? Penalties, unless it is, I'm sure that you are directly responsible for these things. I can't give you penalties, right? If it is there's a flaw in the system, then I would insist that you find a way of fixing that flaw.
All right, guys, tell a friend. We are on Sunset right now, streaming live on YouTube at Plus TV, Facebook at plustv.tt. All right, guys, and what are some of the positives social media brings to the table for you and for your children and for our culture?
Sunset on Plus. just to name the first one.
Just to name
the first one. I like that answer.
Right? But look at we're going back into, okay, let me look at the positive of social media, right? Because of social media, there are a lot of do-it-yourself professional mechanics out there. There's a sort of, and it could go on and on. yes, there are positive and negatives in things, but it is up to you and the individual, right, to decide which part of it you want to follow, right? There's a lot of things that I don't know to do, and I could pull it up and get point-on-point videos how to do it, you know? Yeah, actually, I can remember that there were actually sites on social media where if you had problem with maths, right, that you could go and there was a professor there that actually used to explain it to you, and these are information that you was getting for free. You know, so you need to learn, I think people need to learn how to positively surf. And it's the internet. It's just another form of internet.
Yeah, guys,
you know?
I really and truly agree with Jevon, because social media, despite of the negative, social media have really created a plethora of opportunities and avenues where creative people could go and be resourceful. Guys, take the opportunity, please. I am pleading to you out there. I personally, Jermaine Manswell, is pleading to you out there. Take the opportunity, take that stage to show you. Create content that the world could contribute from, that the world could remember you as. Don't do foolishness. I telling you as it is. Stay away from foolishness. Use the platform to make yourself and your product an asset rather than even a liability. Ruby, tell me. Going forward, I want to ask this question to you. As a female, as a symbol of a mother, what are some of the positive, what are something positives you can put out there to young ladies in particular, not the men? I'm asking you to reach out to these young ladies about the dressing and that sort of quality life they want to portray that is fake or pretensive, and they are just seeing it from a distance but don't understand the mega in the reality of what they're trying to get themselves into.
If I had to, you know, give my own advice based on my own personal experience and stuff like that, it's really about the type of image that you want for yourself, right? If you are a young upcoming woman, you know, looking for a lot of positive experiences, or you want to like make it in life, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be something, an important role, you want to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever, you know, you have to manifest that and put your life out there. If you remember, social media is a door to your life, sort of, right? People don't put everything out there for the best parts, right? But you have to know what you want, and you have to know how to work for it. So as you would have mentioned, social media is a valuable tool to learn things, right? You can go on social media, learn to do graphic design, learn to run a business, be a mechanic, do anything. There's a lot of value to be earned from it. Use that, and also use the information to help develop yourself as a person, as an individual, right? On top of that, you know, as I said before, it's all about your image as well, right?
Image.
At the end of the day, we have people who are predators out there, right? And you have to be very careful as a young woman, putting out information about yourself, about your whereabouts,
Exactly.
Putting out images of you in, you know, less clad, you know. So you have to be very careful, because you also have to think about the future, right? Now it might be like, you know, it's a hot girl, it might be saying whatever, you want to be this, you know, this model like life, this high life kind of situation.
Yes, yes.
But you also need to think about the future, right? Because at some point you'll want to have a job, you'll have children of your own, you may want a good life partner, and men also look at these things,
yes,
because they
exactly,
also
yes.
Evaluate you and who you are based on the way you carry about yourself, the way you put yourself out there. So it's important to bear these things in mind as a young woman upcoming, in order to make sure that you have a positive future coming.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
And to add to that, what people need to understand too is that once you put something out there, it's out there.
Definitely.
It cannot be taken back, you know?
All right, guys, we're going to go on another break. But before you go, tell a friend, a friend, and another friend that we are streaming live on YouTube at plustv.tt and on Facebook at plustv.tt. We'll be right back.
This is another episode of Life Matters, and I am your host, Latina Mata. Give us some insight into what is Miss Earth and what is so special about this pageant.
Okay, so like many pageants, there are a purpose behind the crown. So Miss Earth in particular, it's all about the awareness of the environment, and I'm basically an ambassador informing everyone to take care of their environment and their surroundings.
Take this moment, guys, to advocate the importance of mental health awareness, ensuring that this is something that is started to be placed in schools, in these school curriculums. Why aren't we having easy therapy access to schools, to parents, to the children? You know, that is something that we need to get some hands written about, right?
My name is Jesse McBarrow, and you are looking at Mending Minds. Tell us your Mending Mind moment.
I will say set goals.
A lot of people get so caught up in the what, they forget the why. There's this fixation of this is what I'm going to do, and they forget why.
Yeah.
You know, you pursue that in the first place.
Okay, guys, we are back. Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to know that we here at Sunset love you very much. Tell a friend that we are streaming live on YouTube at plustv.tt, Facebook plustv.tt. All right, guys, let's wrap up social media and let us dive into what could possibly be a topic for tomorrow and going forward, right?
I just want to touch on one more thing
ahead.
with regards to the social media benefits, right? Now, we spoke about the benefits to persons, individuals, right? But there are also benefits for businesses on the corporate side. Because now they have this whole controversy with Meta being in court and all of that. But Meta is really what gives us the information that we need in order to grow our businesses. True. You understand? So things like customer analysis, data analysis, predicting trends, understanding the customer behavior. You understand? It's not just social media, it's also linking to websites and all that. So it's also good for the purpose of growing a brand. You know, because and bringing in money as well. So aside from a person using social media to develop themselves or develop their trade, they can also use it to grow their business.
I totally agree. That's actually one of the positives that could come from
that is a big
social
positive.
media. And what we need to really do is endorse platforms of such nature to really enhance that part of it. But again, like in everything, there's positive, there's negative.
For example, and to add to what you're saying, before you would normally have to go and pay somebody to build a page for you. Now, because of the tools that you get from these sites, you can do it yourself.
Correct.
Right?
Well, before we touch another topic, my last question to you guys is, before social media becomes such a phenomenal worldwide thing where we can connect each other by just right here, hi, and she in Japan, hello, in Tokyo. Before that, do you think that all the things that we see now, do you think all these things were happening, but just because we didn't have it then?
We didn't have access to it?
Yeah, we
I think so.
It.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
It's
just that now it's more visible.
More visible.
Yeah.
Use just just go back to what you talk about the stabbing in schools or the fights in schools. It has been happening.
It has been happening.
Just is the only difference now is that it is more
it's publicized.
Publicized because of social media.
But guys, I didn't really feel comfortable when I wasn't satisfied with what I got from earlier when I asked earlier, what are some of the things what are some of the solutions we could put out there for social media users? I want dig deep. I want to hear some of the solutions we could really feed the people out there.
Solution into what really?
How we could curb the nature of that negative content being put out there for people to consume, especially the younger ones. I mean, it's a real touchy, sensitive thing. It's very hard to deal with because at the end of the day, we don't have control over what people do with their lives.
I think it just boils down to personal responsibility, and then you as a person, once you endorse something, then you can get other people to join your band. Your band. You understand? So it's personal responsibility, really and truly, because there's only so much you can do, and if you are somebody who has influence on other people, and they see you doing something, then it goes to say that they will also try to follow your trend. Because just like the social media influencers, you can be a real life influencer, you know?
All right, so what I get from Ruby is that, guys, we need to be personal. We need to be personally in charge of ourselves and what we do, what we put out there. I am saying that we need to be self-aware. Self-awareness is very important. I mean, you have to love yourself enough to be out there. You have to respect yourself in order for people to respect you. So, Jevon, what are you leaving for the people?
Well, I would reiterate, as a parent point of view, you need, as parents, you need first to educate yourself about it. And you need to play a bigger role into what your children are doing, right? Yes, they're not going to like you for it, but you as a parent need to protect your child at any means necessary.
All right, everyone. So we'll leave it with you. Personal responsibility, self-awareness, and the big man said himself, education. So we will close the ideas and ideologies of this topic today. And we're going and jump into something that I personally have a issue with.
And what is
We're talking about moods. Human moods, people tendencies to just have weird moods, bizarre moods. All of a sudden, they from normal to abnormal. Today you're okay, next minute you just. Come on, let me dive deep into that.
Well,
moods.
people have different moods. Today I might be happy because how my day went.
But
right?
do
Like,
you
for
think
example,
moods can be controlled?
With practice, yes. With practice, yes.
Do you think people are willing to practice being controlling of their moods?
Well, you have to make the decision to do so. First, you have to understand if it is your moods are negatively affecting others, right? So if it is your mood is negatively affecting others and it is brought to your attention, then I think yes, you should learn how to control it.
Ruby, what is your take on, and as a female, you're going to work, and to be honest, I'm not afraid to go here. We all know that women see their cycle on a monthly basis. Guys always have a problem with that sort of behavior when that time comes. I mean, come on, you know that is something that you're going to have every month. Learn to deal with it. Learn to deal with it. Why you need to give the guys a hard time around that time?
I don't think that anybody is purposely trying to give a hard time. At the end of it, no. It boils down to science. It is about chemistry and chemical reactions in the body. Right? That kind of the levels of estrogen, testosterone in the body, that kind of controls the mood swings and stuff for the women when they're during that time of the month.
No,
right?
guys, we wouldn't know this, so listen.
Yeah, so as I said, it boils down to science, and a lot of women as well, and this is a predominant issue that a lot of women in the Caribbean especially are dealing with, which is something called PCOS, right? And this also affects the way a person will feel during those times as well. At least, I'm not sure the percentage, but I know it's on the higher end for persons who deal with PCOS, right? I'm not sure if you all are familiar with it.
For those who are not familiar, you want to enlighten for those who are not familiar?
PCOS is a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome. All right, it's a common thing amongst most women. You know, it is higher levels in some and lower in others, right? So as I was saying, the mood swings, if we are sticking to that period of time, is just natural.
It's a natural
right?
thing.
And it's really just for the men to really understand what is happening in the woman's body so that they can be a little more mindful and understanding towards what they are going through.
But like myself, who is very mindful and understanding, why do some women use that as an excuse not to do this, not to do that, just to be naughty?
I can't speak. I can't speak for those particular women. All right, I could only speak for people who I am familiar with and who I know, even myself. I guess it also boils down to their own personality traits.
I think it has a lot to do with that as well.
All right, so it may not. You can't generalize it. You can't generalize women. All women be like that. It is not fair to say so.
I agree, and I would
Right?
not put that on every woman, to be honest. Guys, I'm just raising awareness as to the type of moods that might be happening within women. Jevon, so you're giving me a kind of a rising kind of early morning smiley. All right, okay, so tell me, mood swing in the workplace, mood swing.
I just want to ask you a question.
No questions for me right now.
By
No
chance,
questions
you
for me right now.
know, something
Tell
happened
me.
earlier on today.
I got that feeling. You know, I got that feeling. I was like, this something a little personal.
No, guys,
You
no,
need a
guys.
Usa moment.
No, guys, listen.
It was something a
I'm
little
not answering
personal.
any questions right now. Right? So tell me, mood swings in the workplace, mood swing in relationships. How we deal with that?
The same way, actually.
When you say the same way, elaborate.
Mood swings in a workplace, mood swings in a relationship. Both instances, you need to know how to control emotions. Right? Yes, because in both places, if it is you mismanage your emotions, you affect others. Right? So it is both equally important to learn to control yourself, and it could be walking away from a situation. It could be just keeping your mouth closed. Right? I personally like to walk away if it is I know there's a situation and I may become heated. Walk away, cool down, reassess. The thing is that sometimes your mood swing may be because of you and not the other person. You might be in a frame of mind and somebody says something and you interpret it the wrong way.
That's fair
Right.
enough. That's a fair assessment.
Right? So that is why I will always push. Learn to control. Learn to take what somebody says to you on their point of view, not yours. If somebody come and tell you, Shamin, I don't like how you're looking in a pink shirt. Right? You might take offense because you like wearing a pink shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That is your
Right?
opinion.
Exactly. But you know, the person were not wrong. He said he don't like.
That's
right?
okay. That's okay.
Learning to control emotions, that wouldn't affect you. Okay, cool. That's your opinion. And move along.
All right. Okay. All right. So we're going back to mood swing in the workplace. I come to work. Good morning, Ruby. Today you answer me. Next day, good morning, Ruby. Morning. Next. Good morning, Ruby. Thursday. Good morning, Ruby. Morning. Every day is a different tone of good morning. And to be honest, I've had those experiences
We
with
all
people
do.
already.
Okay.
How do we deal with that? That is
Okay.
my number one question today. Now, how do we deal with things like that?
I think it's just about understanding your peers and kind of respecting their space in those instances, right? Now, everybody in the workspace, whether it be in the office, on the road, but it's personal situations as well. Everybody has things to deal with, right? That does not negate that they have a difficult situation at home or something may be bothering them from a different environment. And you just have to be understanding. And that also begins with, now Jevon mentioned being able to control your emotions, right? Now this could only happen if you have something called self-awareness, right? You have to understand yourself, you have to understand your situation, understand your environment, and why you behave the way you behave, right? And only then you can really exude any type of control, all right? On top of that, when you have that self-awareness or that mindset, you are also equipped to understand other person's situations and also learn how to navigate those persons as well.
Yeah, guys, it's a very serious thing. Moods, some people just really can't cope with, and they don't know how to deal with certain situations. They don't know how to adapt sometimes, and they take and interpret things the wrong way.
Exactly.
Because to be honest, sometimes you going down the road, you're not joyful with, hey, partner, like you can't. And you know what? Again, let me use my personal experience. I went to a grocery store not too far where I am living. And this particular individual always liked to tell others negative things in the form of a joke about them, which is fine. That's the hood, right? But every time you tell him something, he doesn't like it, right? So there were one time I went in to the grocery and he was eating... he was eating his home cooked food. So I said, yeah boy, your food looking nice. That is all I said. And he was like, but why do mind your business? That kind of mood out of nowhere, I didn't do him nothing, I didn't tell him nothing. And he just wake up like a hungry lion ready to bite.
Let me share with you something I've learned. All right? Sometimes you might be a sponge of somebody's anger so that they don't go and do something stupid.
Fair
Right?
enough.
I worked taxi, as you know, I worked taxi for a good few years. Right? And as you can remember, I always had a particular demeanor. And I remember a conversation a day I had with a passenger. I was like, Drive, why are you always in a good mood? And this was actually after somebody they dealt with me a particular way. Right? And this was the story I get myself. Listen, everything happens for a purpose, right? I say that person killing my vehicle, you don't know what's going on with them, right? They saw me as a venue to vent. He didn't lash me, he didn't do me nothing, he talk, we had a talk, he get up his chest, and he left the vehicle, right? Who knows, by he doing that, I save him from knocking down somebody and getting himself in trouble.
Yeah, I do believe in the unseen world and
So
things like that.
sometimes when somebody come at you harsh, think about it. Then you know, always look at it. You know, you don't know what this person going through, right?
Correct.
Look, you tell the man about he plates of food. How you so sure that is the only thing he probably had to eat for the day? You understand?
Yeah, so it's really about understanding circumstances.
Yeah.
So, guys, so what I get from moods is that we need to really, it comes down to self-awareness, truly and honestly. We need to be very honest with ourselves. And I always tell people that feelings is the language of the universe, because the universe can't hear what we are saying, or quote unquote God. I don't think God hears words. I think God feels your conviction in your words, the emotions you put out there.
And that is what you call emotional intelligence, as well as having empathy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when we develop empathy, it brings compassion, and
Correct.
that is when you...
I like Ruby, like you doing big words and stuff. I like that.
Just little what I know.
Yeah, we all need empathy. Some
Yes,
form
correct.
of empathy. We all need compassion. We all need that gift of love to embrace who we are and to evolve as a species, as a race. I just always tell people, you may identify me as a Trinbagonian, but I am actually a citizen of the universe. I am a citizen of Earth. I came here to fulfill a journey. I am on a path, and it doesn't matter what they put on social media. It doesn't matter what mood they have. When I look in the mirror, I am always going to be Jermaine. So with that said, guys, I want to bring a close on the topic mood, and we're going to piggyback on relationship.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Bro.
yes.
Bro, you want to have a one-on-one after this show?
No, we're not going to have a one-on-one.
because I can
We're
remember.
recapping all the today with me as
Recapping,
anchor.
yeah.
We're recapping all the topics we discussed a little bit so far. And to be honest, relationship were the number one topic we discussed so far that the viewers really wanted us to have a part 2 of. I know Randolph is not here, Camille isn't here, and tomorrow we could dive deeper back into it if they want to. But for the little time we have left, we want to give the people some form of entertainment. We are here on Plus TV. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We are streaming live on YouTube at plustv.tt and on Facebook. Right? Jevon, we're going to start with you.
Remember single, eh?
Ruby, we're going to start with you. Well, first,
Now,
at
now
first-
relationships could be not just man to woman relationships, you know. It could
Exactly.
be your mother-father relationship. It could be a relationship with your peers, your relationship with your sister.
No, but in particular,
You want to talk about
they were talking about the
relationship.
relationship between a male and a female.
Okay.
The-
Partners. So we're talking about
Partners.
The
partners.
negative.
Because we do have people who are female, male
Well,
relationships as well.
I don't think we want to go.
Well,
So
relationships.
it's a general, it's
Yeah,
a general
So
discussion.
we want to go there?
No, we're just generally speaking.
Okay.
Yes.
relationship is a
I
relationship.
like
It's a
to
no matter what.
relationship,
Yeah.
regardless of the gender.
All right. I have no problem. I have no issue with it. So, Jevon, how can we really dive deep into understanding what a deep, connected, emotional relationship is really about?
You need to work for that. Right? You need to spend time first, as I spoke the last time. You need to spend time working on yourself, understanding first who you are, what it is you want out of this, right? What it is you are willing to give, and also spend time trying to learn as much from your partner. I also believe in sitting down, having a discussion about what it is both you all expect from each other. Sometimes you can do exactly like what you're doing, get a book, write it down, right? There was something I also liked to practice when I was in a relationship, right? You used to pick a day, one day of the week, right, where we would sit down and discuss issues, right, without any form of repercussions.
But
You did something I didn't like,
Right.
right? We had that day set. I'm going to tell you about it. You're going to sit down. You're going to hear me out.
So you
and
like
you're gonna understand.
dialogue. You like
Yes,
to, you like
and
to
that
dialogue
is
in a relationship.
important in a relationship.
All right. So dialogue in the form of communication.
Yes.
Right? And listen, a relationship is a very hard thing, you know, because the ship of a relationship is like the house of it. To relate is something different. But you can't, if you have no relation, then you can't have a ship. And in order to relate, you must have that sort of relationship with yourself first. Because you are actually independently one half of the fig, right? And I think when you're not sound in that space, it always 2 months, maybe 2 days, maybe 2 weeks, especially with some marriages these days. I have actually witnessed people getting married. I went to a wedding in December, and by February, I was the witness also to divorce. So I always say relationships are hard, but how can we better ourselves finding these sort of relationships to live as a human being? Ruby, you wanna take charge with this?
I think it goes right back to what he said, Jevon said, with regards to understanding yourself and what you want and your expectations. I think it also boils down to your level of readiness for a relationship, because some people may or may not be ready, and then they also venture into relationships without really knowing whether it is something they should pursue right now or not, right?
So in the interest of time, do you think that people sometimes, when they're a little bit off energetically, or do you think sometimes it's always a selfish gain for some people? Because, I mean, I might meet you, I find you real nice, but I might just probably want to have sex with you. And then somebody else he might see you as his whole world. So again, it comes down to what you really want as a person too, and how much the other person is willing to give. Because a lot of people just get caught up, they will fall for the nice words, they will fall for the nice things, and then when they feel some sort of satisfaction, they get comfortable. And when that is broken, then it's all break loose and they start to play the blame game, and then who hate who, and that is where the big collision starts. And I know we don't have much time again, guys, but in closing, I would allow my co-host to give any kind of solution to relationship people out there who are married, who wants to continue having that beautiful plural life. And I'm going to start with our beautiful co-host, Ruby.
Again, I'm going to say understanding oneself, communication, of course. If you are in a relationship, communicate, talk it out. Also spending time together, doing things together. You also have to understand your level of compatibility as well. That's very important, because if two persons are incompatible, it just doesn't make any sense.
Thank you, Ruby. And Jevon, my last, before you even answer, my question to you is a little bit different.
Okay.
We spoke about moods, we spoke about relationship, we spoke about social media, right? I am asking you now, I'm going to tie all of those scenarios or topics we spoke about and tie that back in now to relationship. How much of positive and negative impact we get from these topics, the social media, how much of it is negative and positive in a relationship?
It all depends on the individual. If I am a socialite and you are a socialite, then it shouldn't affect us. If it is I am not a socialite, I don't like my business out there, right, then it will cause a rift. So it all depends on the two individuals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Guys, unfortunately, we are at the end of another beautiful show on Sunset on Plus TV. Thank you very much for tuning in today. We will be here live tomorrow with you guys, hopefully with everyone, so that we could discuss the hot topics, we could bring information and solution to you. Continue to tell a friend to tell a friend. We will be live every day, Monday to Friday on Sunset.
This is another episode of Life Matters, and I am your host, Latina Mata. Give us some insight into what is Miss Earth and what is so special about this pageant.
Okay, so like many pageants, there are a purpose behind the crown. So Miss Earth in particular, it's all about the awareness of the environment, and I'm basically an ambassador informing everyone to take care of their environment and their surroundings.
Take this moment, guys, to advocate the importance of mental health awareness, ensuring that this is something that is started to be placed in schools, in the school curriculums.
Yes.
Why aren't we having easy therapy access to schools, to parents, to the children? That is something that we need to get some hands written about, right?
My name is Jesse McBarrow, and you are looking at Mending Minds. Tell us your Mending Mind moment.
I will say Sadhguru's.
A lot of people get so caught up in the what, they forget the why. There's this fixation of this is what I'm going to do, and they forget why you pursue that in the first place.